Hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 118. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, how are you doing this fine Sunday afternoon, friend?
Good, good. So every once in a while, I feel like I'm afraid your thing locked up, and then you get me with it, dude. I'm like, oh god, is he? Oh yeah, okay. No, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I just got my coffee going. I told you my car is in the shop right now, so I walked over to get my lunch. Got that. It was nice actually. I had a nice leisurely walk. I need to get out and walk more, Wes, because you get into VR, get into everything technological, and you just end up forgetting about nature, right?
Yes, unless you are in the Join Nature with Luke, I think it's called, or get into nature with Luke. That I talked about. This is a free experience that I talked about on one of my streams recently, which is absolutely freaking awesome for a free experience.
Hmm.
Um, Will Horizon was talking about the Blair Witch game that we played the other day, and the beautiful woods and scenery, which is absolutely true, 100%. But it reminded me that this get into nature with Luke that I tried months ago at this point, which is that 3D photogrammetry thing,
Hmm.
and there's all sorts of different sites that you can go to, like national parks, so on and so forth, and it's very high resolution, high detailed 360 photographs that you actually have a little bit of movement in, like you
Hmm.
can move without the environment moving. So it's pretty cool.
Is that a PCVR or Quest thing?
PCVR. It's on
Okay.
Rift Store and Steam.
Oh, cool. I was just gonna say, something that I like to do that's similar to that is and it's a simple. I'm sorry, Quest people, because you really don't have it, at least a standalone. Is Google Earth. It is so cool to go around to different areas, United States, New York City. I've never been. You're at street level. You're looking up at the buildings. I mean, it's came so far since in the last 4 years since I got into VR. Even, it's getting really good. And how cool would it be if you could actually like zoom in and it would be 5 minutes of time or something? You were actually watching like stuff happening. I think we're going to see that in our lifetime pretty soon here, and I
Yeah.
think it's very exciting.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff in that. Now I haven't actually been in there for a while, but I did spend quite a bit of time in it, especially when I was new to PCVR. There are places that are so well documented that you can go inside of buildings. I remember specifically going inside of this bar in Japan. It
Oh,
might have been Tokyo or one of the larger Japanese cities. I decided to go down to the street level, and I noticed that one of the bars, it was telling me I could go in it, and I went in. It was pretty cool, man.
that is pretty cool. Talk about interactive, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you get on like ground level around the pyramids at Giza. I remember going along the sidewalks and stuff there, or beaches, and there's all sorts of vendors set up everywhere selling little trinkets. It's really a cool piece of software, especially in today's more secluded world.
I like to go into different countries and just check out how similar they are to here, and then different, right? Because there's some countries, or I guess every country, you go to it in certain areas, and you'd never be able to tell there's a difference. You might as well be in the United States because that's Earth. It's everything looks very similar in the mountains and that type of stuff. And yeah, I mean, there's distinguishing things that separate them, but for the most part, it's good. So I like it.
Yeah, yes, VR a wonderful tool to for tourism without leaving your bedroom.
Yeah, yeah, especially with like Tech was saying in the last night, that New York they're in lockdown again, and so Tech, you can come visit Colorado, and you don't even have to leave your house, bro. I'll be waiting there outside.
You can tell the police that too, like when they break down your door and say, "What are you doing? What's all this smoke?" You say, "Dude, I was in Colorado. I wasn't
uh,
here."
yeah. Hey, like, do you think that there's a time where you could probably be like, well, I mean, technically, I'm in Colorado, so like in VR, I could abide by their laws. because you're in that space. That would be kind of cool.
Let's just hope that different parts of the metaverse don't have different jurisdictions that we have
Oh,
to keep up with.
oh God, yeah. Let's hope.
Anyway, lot to talk about today, man, or rather even this week. Like I'm super excited for the content this week that we're going to be putting out. You know, as you know, Fracked is coming out this week. We already had plans on covering either Larcenauts or Vengeful Rights, and I saw some more footage of the final version of Vengeful Rights, and it looks so super impressive. So hopefully we'll get time to get into that, and then VR Adventure. I'm going to do a Vin video, put it up on this channel, and within that video, I'm going to describe the details of how you, meaning any of you viewers, anybody except for Roots, how you could win your own copy of Vin VR Adventure, courtesy of our friends at Monologic Games. So, Vin VR Adventure, Vengeful Rights, Larcenauts, Fracked, and you know there's going to probably be some Returnal in there somewhere as well. A great week of content ahead for Virtual Strangers. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that big red button. Be sure to hit that bell so you don't miss any of it going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And Onakazi says that's what VPNs are for, so you can get around that. And that is very true. I'm excited to hear and ask you and Eric questions about Fracked because I don't have the PCVR or PSVR, and you guys are both going to be playing it. We're going to have, I'm assuming we're still having Eric on there. He hasn't, I can't imagine him saying no because he's such a good guy and he always wants to help out. So pretty much sure it's
That's the
happen.
plan. That's the plan. The plan is to have Eric on to cover Fracked. So
He
I'd be
says
shocked at this point.
He says fracked exclamation point times 5. So I'm assuming that means he's in. So Wednesday night, we'll be discussing that. I'll be asking Wes and Eric some questions, and they'll be telling me how awesome it is. And Wes will be trying to do what he's been trying to do. He's been trying to spend my money and convince me. And he's really actually probably right that I need to get the PSVR so I can enjoy fracked myself and not wait till PS5VR. So.
Yeah, now there's a lot of time between now and the next generation of PSVR, and there's going to be a lot of awesome games between now and then as well. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents anyway.
Yeah, well, that's logic. I agree. I just want the money to fall into my lap, please.
Anyway, the Frack is a story for another day. Not too long from now, but another day. Lots to talk about today. Lots of non-fracked news to get into. But before we do that, let's kick it off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. Paradise Decay's in chat, Roots, and he says, "Are you planning to get PSVR 2 now that you know a new Wipeout is coming?" So this is one that I actually meant to put in the headlines and forgot to because for whatever reason this was not a prominent headline on any of the VR news sites, but a reputable source, someone who is pretty, someone who has a history of pretty accurately leaking Sony gaming news, said this week that plans are in place for a new Wipeout game to come to PlayStation 5, complete with PlayStation 5 VR support. So, what do you think about that, Roots? Does that? I mean, you were already convinced to buy a PS5 VR. Does that kind of seal the deal for you?
It was already sealed when they released the specs, and actually, really, it was sealed the moment I first tried my PlayStation 5 because it opened to my eyes that Sony's not messing around. And I just think it's funny when anybody's like, "Oh, I don't know about Sony," and specifically, you know who I'm talking about, or you know who I'm talking to you. That Sony is making mistakes, could potentially ruin flat gaming even, and they've already made this console is so amazing. It's brought Wes even wanting to play some flat gaming. You know what I mean? Because it's so good. So
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I've played a little. I mean, I played a lot of Returnal, but I even dabbled in a few other titles other than that. So, yeah, this new hybrid approach to game development, creating VR version for the big flat releases, that's just kind of Well, I think Onikazi says it best. He says, I was planning already on getting PSVR 2. A new Wipeout's just gravy.
Oh yeah, you know who loves gravy, Wes?
I do.
Yeah, she does.
PD also says, a question for me. Do I feel like the wind? Do I think we will feel the wind on our faces in Wipeout PS5VR with the face haptics? Now, that I don't know. What I do think is these haptics were basically meant for this type of game. And what I mean by that is the main purpose of the HMD based haptics is to mitigate motion sickness. And it would be in a next gen Wipeout game. You would imagine that's one of the hurdles that they're going to be trying to overcome. So whether or not you can feel wind in your face, I don't know. But I'm quite certain as you hit the boundaries of the track and the wall, and you jump 500 feet in the air and smash down, I'm pretty sure you're going to feel all of that.
Well, I'll tell you what. It wasn't directed at me, but I'll answer as well. And I say you will. And you know why I say that? Because there's times I'm playing the Quest with their audio, and I can it feels like I'm feeling just the audio and the vibration alone. I feel like there's like stuff blowing on me, right? It's weird because I just think that there's going to be amazing. And we don't have that long to wait, right? You said about a couple weeks. Oh, wait, a year?
Yeah, a couple days.
A couple like days. That. I wish. Wouldn't it be awesome if it just dropped? Oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful, but no chance in hell of that happening.
Yeah, I can dream.
Anyway, Onikazi is in the chat, as is our friend Corporate Zombie. Thanks for joining us, CZ. Silver, XXX Silver, is in the chat as well. Says you're not alone, Onikazi. So apparently a lot of people feel that way. Mash Daddy in the house as always. What's up, buddy? As is VR Spry Guy, Midlife Kid, Meow Meow the Gamer Cat, D-Rail, and Zaylan Maru. So EV Man versus Gas Lee VR. People are ready. Someone named Key B says, "Hey Roots," and Space Denison. Eye on the icon, dude. They're all ready. They're ready to hear what's going down in VR this week.
I'm ready too, actually. Looking at the notes, there's some exciting news, and I'm a big believer that the world is full of good and bad excitement.
Well, I try to highly curate the news. We don't talk about every story. We just talk about the good shit here on the Virtual Strangers program. Sometimes we miss something good, like a township tale. Like I completely refused to recover that game or to cover that game, thinking that the gameplay loop was going to be shallow, and I was dead wrong about that one. So every now and then we miss something, but for the most part, everything that's worth knowing, you can find out about right here.
And a lot of topics you can only find out here. Usually, a lot of stuff that you think outside the box when you're picking your stuff. It's not only the stuff that everybody else is reporting. So
what Roots is saying here is that our show is show prep for a lot of other shows, and you hear it here first a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's awesome. I like it.
Anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the week's headlines. And I would have felt like a fool had I not led off with this first one. Big news this week. Lone Echo 2 delayed again to later this year. Are we surprised, Roots?
No. Well, I'm surprised. Is there a possibility that they delay it? We've talked about this in the past. Other games have done this. They've delayed it too far to where they've made their game. If they would have had it come out sooner, people would have been raving about it. But when it comes out, there's so many other amazing games that it pales in comparison, or isn't just not as wow. You know what I mean? I just say it's crazy that this thing just keeps getting pushed back and keeps getting pushed back. But I am not surprised at all. And I really say this every time. I'm not phased. I wasn't like, oh, for me, I've got more time to not finish Lone Echo 1. So
right, just puts that one right down the queue list a little bit further, as if we didn't already have enough to play.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure it'll be amazing. I mean, I just hope that it's more than what the original was, because for the original was amazing. That was my problem. I came into it late, and by then there were so many other games that I had played that were just like amazing, that it was like, oh, this is a cool story, but it's not as amazing as people in 2016 were just blown away. It was like, I mean, that's really what it's all about. So I don't
Well,
want
I
to.
have high expectations for this thing from a production standpoint, as their high standards are what they cited as a reason why they're not going to go this month. Um, and with regards to what you were saying a moment ago, I kind of feel like they're already outside the window that delaying is going to hurt them. They've already delayed it so long. This game, it will not have the impact now that it would have had a year ago, when PCVR was in its prime time. With that said, I don't think it's going to be any less well received in 3 months than it would be today. I feel like the limited audience that it's going to have is going to be about the same size in 3 months as it is right now, and those people all kind of appreciate the same things about PCVR as they always have. So again, we'd rather wait for a game than wait for a patch, and if it takes another 3 months to get this thing right, I say take another 3 months.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, they've already taken so long. What's the harm now? Onikazi has a good point. He says, but why did they do this? Why not just keep silent, since it was off the radar for so long anyway? Just to get people's expectations up, to yank the rug out from under them. And I would say, 2021 is the year of Charlie Brown, man. I'm getting used to the football being yanked out from me underneath me. So just one more instance, and hey, why not?
Yeah, yeah. Again, plenty of stuff to play in the meantime, and this will be a nice thing for the holiday season when it drops, if it doesn't get delayed again. That is.
Yeah, well, as long as it's good, I don't care how long they delay it, because it's not like I'm not anticipating it. Um, take as long as they want, and as long as it comes out good, then I'm sure I'll play through it. So,
Based Innocent says, I have important business with Olivia. I bet you do, buddy. A
mm,
lot of us do,
who doesn't?
especially Mr. Hands over here, my co-host.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to be nice and friendly. I can't help it, man. As soon as I realized that it really bothered her, and that she just kept getting angry, that I even just messing with her, trying to brush her hair, she gets very, very angry, Wes. And I learned my lesson, though. That was before me
Well,
too, and now I've stepped back a little bit. So
I would just warn you before you try anything like that in the sequel, that we do live in a new day and age now, and you might want to be careful. She might not stand for some of the things that was okay during the first installment.
no, I've learned my lesson, Wes. Be very nice and cordial, and I'm not going to assume anything about this person. I'm just going to assume that
Right.
their name is Olivia, and that they're a very nice person. Olivia was
Yep.
nice. I will say that.
Well, there you go. Next headline: Rec Room's own Olympics begins this weekend. So, apparently, the normal people out there in the world have this thing going on called the Olympics, this athletic competition. And for those of us who lead a more sedentary lifestyle, Rec Room's saying that we shouldn't feel left out and putting on an Olympics just for us. And this is a legit thing you have to sign up for, and they have all sorts of virtual events set up. It basically just seems like a good excuse to play some fun esports. But it's just another good example of how Rec Room has come into its own, and how any other piece of software out there, if you're trying to rip them off and kind of encroach on their space, you're going to fail miserably. They've gotten such a head start at this point. They're miles ahead of everyone.
Yeah, well, we figured it out, Wes, right? We thought it was just for kids. We got in there and we're like, oh my God, this is actually pretty cool. Oh, yeah, there's some obnoxious people in there, just like everywhere in life. But man, so for such this is the reason why that one kid that I talked to, customers kid, said that their favorite game was Rec Room. It's just a very solid game, and now you can be in can I be in the Olympics, Wes, or would I had to have already tried out by now?
Yeah, I think you would have already had to sign up for it by now.
Uh,
But I'm not sure about that. You might want to click the link in the notes there and check it out if you're interested.
yeah, I wonder what I would do. What event?
I don't know. They had here. Let me bring it up here and take a look at it real quick. Some of the stuff was specifically made for this event, some of the events, and then there were others that are part of the normal rec room lineup, like Stunt Runner. Who doesn't love Stunt Runner? That's a fun game within rec room. Laser tag, archery, dodgeball, discus throw, ultimate frisbee, and paintball.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's just loads of fun, right?
Yeah, especially if you're good at one of those, man. You could win the gold, bro. What do you get? Do you get a real gold medal? Probably not.
I don't know. I doubt it would be real, but
I want to bite into
uh,
it, Wes.
I don't know if you can still sign up for this or not. I see that two of the events have already gone off, but some of these events, I mean, there's two next weekend, two the weekend after that, and then one in early September. So you may still be able to get in on some of these events.
Oh, nice. You know what's weird, Wes? I'm looking at the chat, and the whole conspiracy of Paradise Decay not being able to talk to a
Hmm.
gamer tag is still happening. He keeps everything he tries, he can't. I don't know what happened, dude, but that is such a weird thing. But I enjoy it, even though it's sadistic, because I know you guys want to talk to each other. But we'll be your in between, PD.
I think that maybe Paradise Decay is really a ghost.
Oh, kind of like in Sixth Sense. He's Bruce
Right,
Willis.
right,
I
right.
see dead people.
I see dead content creators' roots.
Oh God. Oh man, I don't want to be one of those.
No, me either. PD in the chat says, "Oh, I just saw the Shadowgate VR trailer. Yeah, man. Looks like PD can't help himself, having to get to the spoilers early, huh?
Yeah, dude, I saw it as well. It's crazy.
Yeah,
You
we're
guys are
gonna
gonna
get
see it
there.
soon.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, but not until we talk about the next headline. 5 years on, enduring VR puzzler Gravity Lab gets big new
Hmm.
update. So I've never played Gravity Lab, and we've always kind of talked about it as something that looks pretty cool. Looks like it might be worth your time. Well, these puzzles just got an additional layer of complexity added in as they're introducing time travel into the puzzle mechanics, meaning you'll have your room full of objects as you normally do. This is a physics based puzzler, but now you can travel into the future to have these objects in their future state, and that just adds a whole new layer of brain fog when you're trying to figure this stuff out, because now you have to take into account time, the fourth
Hmm.
dimension.
That's crazy. Are you gonna pick it up now?
I probably will when I catch it on a sale or something. You know, it'll be the deal of the day or something pretty soon, and we'll check it out. You know, might be something you might want to consider dropping that 30% coupon on.
Well, how much is it? It's like $10, right, or something? Isn't it
Yeah,
cheap?
it's not. It's yeah. It doesn't cost a whole
Hmm.
lot. It's sub $20 for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody convinced me in the not to do Dead and Buried. A couple people actually. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with that coupon. I got 3 days, West. Oculus is already hounding me with emails and just trying to keep rubbing it in. And I'm scared, West, that I'm not going to pick something in time.
That's what's normally happens, right? You sit and that's what happens to me normally. Like I've let just as many of those things expire as I have used.
Well, it's funny because my instinct was I got to buy something, and then I started to think about it, and I thought, do I do just because they've given me a percent off coupon? I have to buy something now. If I don't see something I want, I have to use it. I don't think I agree with that sentiment. So, but I'm hoping that I see something that I want. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine how you look through that catalog and don't see stuff that you want. Like,
even a cheap game
uh,
like that, I could get it for
the,
$7 or something, right?
there's still stuff on that. I mean, not many, but there's still titles on the Quest store that I want that I haven't tried yet. Like Vanishing Grace, for example.
Mm.
I'd love to
Oh
try that one
yeah.
out. I did manage to get in at the last second and use our show accounts 30% coupon and pick up the Climb 2 as you requested last week. So
Yes.
we do have that one to look forward to now.
Nice.
My advice to you is just go to the bottom where it says browse all, click that little link there, and just go through it. There's only about 300 or so that for you to scroll through, and I'm sure you'll find something that you like.
Spry Guy says use it on Lone Echo too. Oh wait. Mash actually he's trying to rub it in. He said he finally got a coupon, 30% coupon. So all you people that have never got one, Mash now finally got his. He's got to make that decision as well. So I'm sure I'll find something.
Yeah, so congrats on Mash Daddy finally getting his first coupon. And Gamertech says, I really enjoyed Gravity Lab, but I need to be up for it. Well, that's kind of true of all, puzzle game. All the thinkers, right? You kind of have to be in a certain frame of mind to enjoy those games.
I'll tell you what, man, that goes for anything really. Like what I can't even remember what game it was. There was something way back in the day when Mainfan and Alex were around, and I went into it and I was in a crappy mood and I felt like the game sucked. And then I went back in the next day, and when I wasn't in a bad mood, and I was like, okay, I was like way harsh on it. You know what I mean? But sometimes your
I
mood can
remember
affect it.
this.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the game was, but I remember this instance where the I couldn't believe that you didn't like a game, and then you finally went back in and tried it again, and you're like, well, I don't know why I didn't like this to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our moods, and if we're in a bad mood, sometimes maybe it's better to hold off on a game, and just come back when you're. I mean, that's everything, man. Like, why are you playing if you don't feel like it? Stop.
Yeah, there you go. Headline: PistolWhip Smoke and Thunder marks new era for Cloudhead Games. Now, this headline hooked me in, right? I decided that to report on this headline just off of how cool it sounds. A new era. Wow, what do they have planned? So I read through the article, and there's absolutely nothing about a new era for them in this article. However, there are some interesting tidbits, and basically, the meat of this article is about why they decided to raise the price of Pistol Whip and why they decided to do that 3 days after uh, dropping the new DLC, the Smoke and Thunder DLC. The kind of the line of questioning was kind of like, why didn't you just drop them at the same time so you could reap the benefit from it? And they wanted to give people an opportunity to get it while it was free. This is basically the only reason why. And the reason why they're upping the price, they say, is so that it wouldn't have to be paid DLC. This is kind of their alternative, uh, a way for them to a way for them to uh, serve their loyal user base that already have the game, not make these people pay for it, but make people who have hesitated to pick it up. Those are the people who were subsidizing the Smoke and Thunder DLC. And they say that it doesn't necessarily mean that they won't ever do paid DLC, but when they do pay DLC, it's going to be a shift in the scope of their content because now, I mean, obviously this is a competitive game. There's leaderboards. There are things for people to do in a competitive sense. So when you start introducing DLC that not everyone has, it kind of throws a monkey wrench in that whole leaderboard system. So they may go there one day, but this was their kind of their way to avoid that day being today. So I appreciate that, and I still haven't checked this one out. I'm looking forward to getting in there and taking a look at it, but I'm not going to do it until I have a few days off work to recover after I do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mash says, and he said this, a while ago. He's saying it again. I thought Smoke and Thunder was brilliant. So that's saying a lot, and so I need to go in and check it out as well. And everybody is telling me, Wes, that I should use my coupon on Racket NX.
I think that's a solid choice. It's one of the games on the short list for me that I would like to check out that I don't have on Quest.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe I will. I mean, enough people have said hands down it's a must own, and Paradise Decay
Well,
specifically
you want me
said,
You want me to monkey wrench these people's these people's attempts all in one sentence, Roots?
Oh, I don't know what you're gonna say. It's on
That
Viveport, right?
game, that game is on Infinity. You
Yeah.
already have it. You
I,
can play it wirelessly with your Quest right now.
that's true. That's
Get a
true. And
Quest exclusive.
yeah,
That's what. Yeah, you know what I mean.
yeah, it's probably why you haven't picked it up as well. It's like every time you think about it, it's like I could play it already.
Now, with that said, I did pick up Red Matter yesterday, and that's not a Quest exclusive.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you had to. Yeah, we were when we talked about it, there was only like 3 hours or 4 hours left on it, right? The daily deal.
Yep,
So
absolutely. And I got it. So now there's another Quest video for me to make, right? I'm sure people interested in what my thoughts are on. I mean, there are people, I read some more reviews of it. There are people in the Red Matter reviews today saying that this is the most beautiful game on Oculus Quest.
wow, his
Big
wife gonna play
words.
it?
I don't know. She should.
Yeah, I think it's good. She should stream it. She ever
Well,
think?
that's my only complaint about Oculus Quest, or my biggest complaint rather, is it's not easy to do a high quality Oculus Quest
Mm,
stream. Like you could stream it, but it's not good quality. The if you'll make a much higher quality video if you decide to record with Oculus Quest. And that's why the VIN giveaway is going to be on a pre-recorded video. That's why if I do a Red Matter video, it'll probably be pre-recorded. There's a couple of different methods to stream Quest. None of them are good. Like you can cast into your capture card, but you're going to have connection issues. It's going to drop the connection eventually. If that happens live, it's a pain in the ass. Or you can stream to the website and capture that and stream it. But then you have quality issues. It's not like a full HD thing that you're putting out there.
mm,
It's got bitrate issues and resolution issues, and there's just no good way to do it that I found.
yeah. Oh, what a bummer.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I would again, my advice remains unchanged. Just scroll through the catalog. I guarantee you're going to see a Quest exclusive that you want to play.
Not the climb too.
I don't. I'm curious as to how people talk to you out of Dead and Buried 2. Dead and Buried 1 was fun, and Dead and Buried 2 looks better. So, I mean, that's
Well,
kind of
it was somebody said that they listed all these games, Larcenot, Pop One, all these different things, and they said, when Dead and Buried 2 first dropped, the only one that you could get on the Quest at that point. Yeah, but they said it's they just were saying that it's just not worth it. I can't review. We'll have to go back in the Discord and look at it, but there were several different people that were saying it, and there was one or two people that were saying, definitely get it, but they hadn't tried it, so I don't know.
well, all those games that they listed were games we already have.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. It's like they're basically saying, with all these other games, are you really going to go into that one? So I don't know. I guess if we had enough people that were going to go into it, I might do it for that reason, but we'll see.
Anyway, more on what Roots decides to pick up next week.
Yeah, it's the main thing everybody's here for.
Headline: Facebook's Bosworth convinced that Oculus will reach 10 million users earlier than expected, and this is encouraging news, Roots, for the overall health of VR as a technology. I had a commenter the other day who took some issue with some of the things I said about PlayStation VR and the number of active users out there, and he threw around a stat that I was unaware of. He said that there are numbers out there saying that Oculus Quest 2 has already sold something like 4 million. If that's true, and I can't verify or deny it, if that's true, then that's amazing. PSVR never did anything like that. I mean, there's estimated around 6 million sold to date. Probably only about half of those still active. And if Oculus Quest 2 has done like 4 million in a year, even in 2 years, that's an amazing number. And you can see now why the development community is so excited that there's some source of cash flow now, a source of revenue for them. And they can feel more comfortable now going forward, committing to future VR projects.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, think about this. If there's already 4 million, where are we at in a couple years, right? If things keep going at the rate they are, I'm going into people's houses now, so many now, Wes, that I'm saying, hey, have you ever played like that guy that came into the stream last week? Hey, what are your thoughts on VR? He's like, oh, I love it. I've got my Quest 2 right there. And he starts talking about, I can't remember which game it was that he was his favorite or whatever, but, and I mean, it's happened. It happens all the time now where everybody's got the damn thing. They're stealing my thunder, Wes. I got to come up with a new question for people.
So a few people in the chat don't realize that you already played Lies Beneath. They're trying to sell you on that one because it's today's daily deal, Roots.
Oh
Lies
my God.
Beneath. Roots has played Lies Beneath. We've covered it on the channel. And I absolutely concur with what all of you are saying. Lies Beneath, one of the better, might be the best horror game on Quest. I mean, it's a great game.
Yeah, it's one of the hidden gems we talked about, I think, almost a couple years ago, and telling people, I believe it's a must have. I don't know what the cost is on it, but I thought the cost at what it was, and I've said it, way back then. I picked it up, didn't even know what it was. I had it for like a week, and then I put my nephew into it, and I saw his reaction to the opening scene, and I was like, oh God, what's going on in there? And then so I pulled him out and I went in there, and then I couldn't stop playing it for a day and a half or 2 days till I beat it, and I was bummed out because there's not any game so far that I've played that's like it, right? It's a third person platformer. It proves third person platforming games will work in VR, and the story had me hooked from the very beginning to the end. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Kazi and Meow Meow the Gamer Cat both in chat saying that those quest numbers were based off the US facial interface recall numbers. So a lot of people claiming those free silicone facial covers that Oculus is offering up, and I haven't claimed mine yet. I've already had bought one, actually. But I will say this about those specific items, that they do improve the comfort. Like they make the original facial interface more comfortable to use.
I'm not a big fan of the silicone covers. I've had those. They slip around. They want to fall off. I'd rather have like the VR cover that they gave away.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm not saying it's anywhere on the level of the VR cover, but it is it's a free upgrade that does make a difference, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're getting a rash. I mean, obviously, it's definitely going to make a difference. Mash Daddy coming through with 5 yen just because you guys are the best. Yeah, well, we appreciate
you are. I kind of feel weird when Mash says you guys, because I kind of feel like he's one of us now, Roots. He comes on and does content with us so much. He does so much with us behind the scenes as well. I kind of feel like Mash is just part of the team now.
Yeah, he's the third stranger.
I actually explained that to our friends at In Dreams a couple of days ago, and that's how Mash is going to be able to cover Fracked with us this week. He's as far as In Dreams is concerned, Mash is a virtual stranger now.
Well, as far as we're concerned, he is as well. So, congratulations, Mash.
Anyway, thanks for the $5 support, Eric. Awesome as always. Thank you. Space Innocent says Roots Journey of the Gods. I think this might be the game, Roots. Journey of the Gods was the game you went into that you were in a bad mood and you didn't like it the first time you were in it. But Journey of the Gods is an amazing game, and I don't know. Do you even own that one?
I don't know what the deal is with that one. I've played it. I mean, at some point, I don't know how I played it, but on somebody's account. Derail coming through with the throwing on a rubber prevents a rash, and he is very 100% correct. Always be safe.
Yeah, there you go. But I concur, Roots. Journey of the Gods is worth playing through. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to consider that. I got a couple days left to make this decision. I was kind of looking at that one, Shooty Fruity one too, but Wolveraza said it's garbage.
Paradise Decay says, well, what, Shooty Fruity? Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people like Shooty Fruity, but I guess it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
PD says that if you like Lies Beneath, add Theta Legion to the wish list because it's coming to the Quest 2 soon. We've thoroughly been through Theta. Well, you didn't finish it, did you?
I don't think so. I played most of it or a good portion of it. But it's definitely an amazing game, and I agree. I concur. Definitely a must own on PlayStation. PlayStation as well if it ever comes to it. Quest. Ian the icon says maybe I'm the thousandth virtual stranger. You guys are all you're like the family, man. You guys are all like our kids, bro. Except for our peers. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone who's clicked the big red button and the Discord invite, all extended family as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're all strangers.
Corporate Zombie with a great point. Shooty Fruity on Viport Roots.
That is a very valid point. If you have it on, or if I can play it, and I can play any of those games on Viveport at any moment, it does steal the thunder of that quest. It's like, why would, unless it's a game that I say, okay, I'm gonna go over, like tonight after the show, I'm gonna go to my nephew's house, and I'm gonna, with my daughter and my kids, I'm gonna play PlayStation 5, and he's gonna play the quest. And if it's something he would want to play, then yes, I'll pick it up. But other than that, if it's here, Shooty Fruity, bro, I can play it, and maybe I should play it, and just so I can tell people whether I think it's amazing or if it's overrated.
There you go. Speaking of Viport Infinity, Yupitergrad expands time attack mode with 10 new levels today. So when we did free stuff and killer deals yesterday, I reported on Yupitergrad getting the time attack update, 10 new levels added in. Roots, I was assuming that was the other most recent time attack update. What I did not know at the time is this is another brand new 10 levels that just got added into Yupitergrad, bringing the total up to 40
Oh my god!
time attack levels now. This game is just growing out of control, man.
They added it's $10 more now.
If it, at this rate, they should, right? Well, it's only what, $15 for Yupitergrad?
That's my point. Joking around, but all jokes aside, it was already worth $15 on day one, and they've made it worth, like, I mean, it's a no brainer, bro. Like, if you haven't picked up Yupitergrad, you should pick it up today because it's an amazing game. So
yeah, I feel kind of like a heel now because it seems like over half of the content in this game now I haven't even checked out yet. Like they keep expanding it so quickly.
yeah, well, that's a good thing, and you can feel good that you're helping other people try it. So
there you go. Last but not least, headline: Pavlov Shack beta update imminent with station map port. So this is one of the OG stock maps from the original Pavlov, making its way into the Pavlov Shack beta. We've talked about Pavlov Shack before. It feels kind of like their plan is for Pavlov Shack to kind of be the main version of the game going forward. This is the one that's coming to next gen PSVR. This is the one that gets updated more often. Now, with that said, the OG game they're working on an update for it as well, which brings ray tracing and DLSS 2. So plenty of love to go around for all versions of Pavlov.
yeah, absolutely. I just wish they could get the maps, the custom maps right in there, because that's where the game shines for me anyway. But I mean, the gameplay is good, and that's cool.
Yeah, certainly cool to see these standalone versions grow and become more in line with their PC counterparts.
Yeah, and if you've never played the custom maps, you don't know any different. For me, it was what was so magical about Pavlov, or I guess is just even more over with contractors is all those old school maps, feeling like you were walking into Nuketown after playing it for 10 years or 20 years on PlayStation or whatever console, right? Now you're in it. It was so amazing.
Yeah, it certainly. We've said it 100 times. Like PCVR is always going to have that, right? They're always going to have that to fall back on, the modular nature, not only of the software but of the hardware. It's constantly changing. It's kind of anyone with any kind of technical know-how can mold PC into what they want it to be, and therefore it's always going to be a thing with regards to VR.
Yeah, absolutely. Paradise Decay says every time he hears the Shack, which is an American term, he always thinks of the song Love Shack song. And I was going to say, you know who else loves the Love Shack, Wes?
My mom!
She lives there.
Pavlov Shack, baby! All right, that's enough of that. Let's get into our gaming segment this week, our deeper topics, and let's start off with one I'm very interested in, Roots. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, Last Call. Earlier this year, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge developer ILMX Lab revealed the first details of the series' second installment. This past week, they released an all-new teaser trailer along with further story information. Alongside the previously announced Athorian Doc Ondar, the teaser trailer drops in new characters: Lens Camo, who is voiced by Carla Chrome, and Baron Atzman, who is voiced by Mark Rolston, who you might know from The Shawshank Redemption and Rush Hour. Baron Atzman originally appeared in Star Wars The Last Jedi as an ultra-wealthy industrialist who sells cybernetic parts. He maintains an outward facade of a charitable character, but hides a cruel, detached outlook. Lens Camo, on the other hand, is described as, quote, the badass daughter of scholar parents who developed a healthy respect for history. She went into treasure hunting with the sole purpose of getting artifacts out of sights without harming them, keeping them out of the reach of the destructive collectors. Just like before, all the encounters will take place within Sleazak's cantina. So we're starting to see a theme take hold here, Roots, and we're starting to get an idea as for some of the things that we're going to be doing in the next iteration of From the Galaxy's Edge. Basically, you have a wealthy benefactor paying you and this other new character to retrieve these artifacts from all over Batu. Sounds like a good premise, right?
Yeah, sounds like a really good premise. Alien Kara says, can't wait for this one. Hope it's better than the first part, and I do as well. Although I thought the first part was fun. You know, I was just thinking this is, you know, and I know a lot of people controversial, all the Lone Echo 2 people. I want to go back and finish the first one. I haven't finished because I really am excited for this one. I love Star Wars. I think they did the first one really did a good job of making me feel like I was sucked into the Star Wars comic book world and was a part of it. And the acting was top notch, and I can't wait.
Yeah. This is a legitimate AAA production in terms of quality. Of course, I know that term AAA has lots of different meanings. When we use it as a quality term. And this is a legitimate AAA quality title with the highest production values. And as you can tell, you know, some fairly well-known voice talent lending themselves to the project. So anyone who loves Star Wars, I mean, VR has been a godsend. Even Vader Immortal was a dream come true for real Star Wars fans, and having something like From the Galaxy's Edge, you know, just builds upon that by giving the player more interactivity, more of an open world to explore, and just more in basically every facet of the game than what Vader Immortal had, except no dojo, bro.
Yeah, no dojo and no Baby Yoda because Baby Yoda doesn't exist. I'm assuming because in the first one I saw Han's thing out there, the Millennium Falcon, right? And so that means Yoda was old at that point in this world.
You know, you know who else saw Han's thing out there?
My mom!
Oh man, Han, dude, I warned you about that, bro.
Han Solo, you can't see what they're doing. What time is it, Roots?
Quote time.
It is quote time. This quote coming to us from Alyssa Finley, the senior producer of Star Wars: The Tales from Galaxy's Edge. Quote, "We are over the moons to continue your story as our intrepid deckhand as you spend time with new and familiar characters on Batu. With new adventures to go on, 2 new tales to experience, and a multitude of new items to buy and try at Mubo's workshop, our team can't wait for fans to jump in the last call this fall." And for the record, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Last Call now slated to launch this autumn for Oculus Quest as DLC, with pricing still to be revealed. So that's interesting, Roots. One, well, there's a few things interesting about this. One, this seems to be like a proper expansion. This seems to be like there's going to be a little more content, a little more meat to this one than the original game. But interestingly, this isn't like a part 2 like Vader Immortal had, but instead this is going to be paid DLC, which to me actually makes me feel like a little more at ease about what the price might be, because I mean, how often do you have DLC that costs more than the original title costed, right?
Oh, well, not often, but would you be open to it being the exact same cost? Because I think that's too much. I mean, I think $10 would be a perfect sweet spot. Now, I don't know how long it is, but I think people would have no problem shelling out $10 a shot if it's significant content, right? $5 would feel better, but it's Star Wars. I don't think it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be that
think
cheap.
I think there's no chance in hell that this is $5. I think $10 is the bare minimum
Yeah.
of this. What's it normally? It normally costs $30. Am I right
I
right
thought it
about
was
that?
I thought it was $24.95, but it may have been $30. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. It might be 25. Yeah, I think this is going to probably cost somewhere in line around $15.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to cost as much as the original game cost, but I think it's going to be close.
How long do you think
Because
it needs to be to make it worth $15 for you?
Well, I mean, it's not about the length. Most of the time it is, but it's really just about how much fun you have in it. Because again, I always point to transference. A sub 3 hour uh, game that cost $30, and I was just as happy as I could be to pay it. It was
Mm.
because it was that good. So it really just depends on how good it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Gamertag was
Yeah,
asking about Arashi. He wanted to know if we talked about it, which I put in that.
yeah. Yeah, we covered it on our last episode on Wednesday. Mixed feelings about it. I kind of agree with everyone else here. Like, it's certainly rough around the edges. It would have been nice to had it launched with a pro patch. That would have been very helpful, I think. A game that has some flaws, but then again, I did enjoy my time in it, and the more I play it, the more I like it. So, my first impressions might have come off a little harsh. My second impressions were better than the first, and so on. It's a game that I want to go back in and finish. So I guess that says something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Gamertag throwing $1.70 or 1.79 yen, because I've decided it was yen today. And Space Dennison both saying the same thing. Do you know who all is about the length?
My mom!
Very true, but she is also, I have heard rumor, concerned about how much fun it is. So not always necessarily only about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good distinction to make. So yeah, thanks for the support, GT, and thanks for the mom joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, Arashi, whatever, Ashy Wash, what? Uh, it has some redeeming qualities. It would be nice if there were some anti-aliasing in there. It would be nice if they got the pop in a little bit under control. It would be nice if they didn't have the enemies come up and crowd you the way that they do. That it seems like they're at the wrong range for the melee. Um, and it'd be nice if your hands moved. I mean, there's lots of little stuff like that I could point to. But again, in spite of all of it, I enjoyed it, and there's nothing else like it on PlayStation VR. So
Yeah. PD says VR games need PS5 updates, and I would go even further. I think new games that are coming out, the devs need to have a PS5 update or at least a Pro on day one. Like, you know what I mean? Don't let your game look like shit and then say, oh, 2 weeks later we're going to upgrade it. You do have one thing going for you. You can't return a PS5 VR game. So once it's in there, it's in there. Now but you could screw your word of mouth and have an amazing looking game and have it look subpar. And somebody's got a PS5 and maybe they're not sophisticated enough to know about patches or any of that. And they just think the game looks like crap. And you know what I mean? Like you're just putting an impression out there. To me, it makes no sense. So.
Gamertag says, I gave it a 6 out of 10, felt like that made sense, but then I watched others and felt maybe I was too harsh. I wouldn't put too much stock into the number, GT, because if you watch the various reviews, you'll see people giving it all sorts of different numbers in between, 6 and 10 and 8 out of 10. But you guys, I mean, we all pretty much said the same things about the game. It's just different people applying that best out of 10 system. I feel like everybody, even though the scores disagree, I kind of feel like we all agree about the game, right? I mean, I'm sure even with giving it a 6 out of 10, you probably enjoyed your time into it and you probably went back and played it a few times rather than just putting it down like you normally would a 6 out of 10, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially once you've covered it and you've done your obligation and you're like, okay, it's a 6 out of 10. I'm done. And you're like, no, not for this game. Like you even said, you went back into it a second time and you felt like you might have missed same thing that Gamertag just said. That maybe you kind of were a little bit harsh on it at first. So I think that's just the first impression. And once you've played, and you said this on the show, once you get far enough into it, it just starts to open up and become the game that the developers made it to be. And
right.
So.
Right. It's a good game. It's a good game that doesn't make the best first impression. Like it's a bad first impression. But the further you go, PD says it in the chat. Arashi is the type of game that grows on you and gets better the longer that you play.
Yeah,
100% concur with that. And yeah, I had fun the last time I went into it, man. I really enjoyed it. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they patch it up, man. Put some anti-aliasing in there. Give us some moving hands. Change the enemy AI up a little bit, and it could really be something very good if they just make a few very basic changes to it.
You know what those hands remind me of, Wes? What was that game that was kind of like Rush of Blood, but it was on PCVR? And the mannequins and stuff that came alive, but your hands turned into mannequin hands, and you were like, I didn't
it
like.
was you're thinking about the one where you're in a wheelchair, right?
Well, I think it's like it was supposed to be like a roller coaster at the beginning, but you actually get off and
Oh,
walk
you're
around
talking
and stuff.
about you're talking about Ghost Town Mine Ride.
Yeah, and it's like when I had those mannequin hands, I didn't like it, Wes. I looked down, it really bothered me not to be able to move my hands. Why would I want to feel that way the entire Arashi experience? I don't like it.
Well, I mean, it is a samurai game, and it's the G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip. It kind of works perfectly.
Oh, that's right, man. As long as I can use it as a G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip, I'll do it all day long.
Yeah, well, there you go. You know who else has the Kung Fu grip roots?
My mom!
Yeah, she does.
Moving on, let's talk a little bit about After the Fall. Last month brought news that Vertigo Games was delaying its anticipated co-op VR shooter After the Fall to later in 2021. It's the latest in a series of delays for the title, which was first announced way back in 2019. This past week, Upload VR sat down with Richard Stitzlar, creative director at Vertigo Games, to talk about the decision to delay the game once more and what has changed over the past few years of development. All right, so basically what I've done here, this whole segment's going to be one big quote time. I'm basically reading excerpts here from the Upload VR article and interview. So I didn't bring all of it, but rather things that I found interesting, the highlights, in my opinion. If you enjoyed this segment, be sure to go to Upload VR and check out the entire article. There's actually some interesting stuff that we're not even going to bring up here. So anyway, we're going Q&A format here. I'll read the question and then I will read the answer. Which specific areas of development are challenging with After the Fall? Is it a case that the PC version is the lead platform, but porting to PlayStation VR and Quest 2 is what's actually taking all this time? So they're asking a very PC centric question here, basically asking whose fault is it that this thing is being delayed? Isn't it true, Vertigo Games, that if there were only PC VR, that we would already have this, and it's all PlayStation and Quest's fault that we don't have it, right? And answer is I would vote for the multi-platform development approach with which we are developing for 4 widely divergent VR platforms in parity as the number one area that has been the most challenging and time consuming with After the Fall. Strictly taken, no version of After the Fall can be considered a port. All content is developed for all platforms in parity, while a core framework of VR development tools ensure that the unique strengths and capabilities of each platform are leveraged. It also lays the groundwork for rolling out a meaty post-launch support plan to various platforms simultaneously so that our team can continue to expand the game world with content and features with as little platform-specific overhead as possible. Behind the scenes, our technical team has spent close to a year building this beast of a framework on top of the Unity engine before we truly kicked off multi-platform production of After the Fall. Meanwhile, the main chunk of our development team ported Arizona Sunshine to Oculus Quest, an immense job that we spent almost as long on, learning the lessons of which we had brought back into the framework afterwards. I would even go so far as to say that we've developed a Unity-based VR engine layer that will serve us for future VR games as well. So basically what they're saying here, Roots, is it's true that this multi-platform approach is what's taken the most time, but there are other factors at play. First of all, there is no base version, and then all the other versions are ports. They're developing all versions of the game specific to each platform, and at the same time doing it in a way that there's perfect parity for cross-platform multiplayer. This has got to be one of the most ambitious VR projects we've ever seen because of this one thing. And then furthermore, he's also saying that they've spent nearly as much time developing Arizona Sunshine for Quest. So that took a significant amount of their resources as well. And I think that's as much to blame as anything with why it's taken so long to get After the Fall.
That's a good sign, man, because that means they can focus now on this completely and finish it off, right? Because they're done with the Quest port. I think it's funny. Tech says that's next year. That's a long time. And if I'm laughing because if you don't know, Tech's been upset about this delay since the beginning. He wants it today, bro. He wants it today. It's one of his favorite. Left 4 Dead's one of his faves, right? So this is going to be, like PD says, our Left 4 Dead of VR. And I don't know, man. And then what was it? Corporate Zombie says, hope it's not PlayStation delaying over cross-platform. Well, Wes just read the quote that they said that it's not PlayStation. It's the fact that really, just think about this. How many games, even flat, are completely cross between all of the platforms, right? Like there's some out there, but trying to do it all at once on all of the platforms and have them to not only that to where you can bring them all in together and play together. It's pretty, like Wes said, very ambitious, and I think it's going to blow us away when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's got to be a daunting task, and I think they deserve to be commended for even attempting something like this, let alone putting their neck out there with a cross-platform launch. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, they peeled Quest 1 out of that and set it off to the side, but still, just to have PC, PlayStation, and Quest 2 all on the same day playing together, totally separate versions of the game that play similarly enough that everyone can play together and get the same experience. I mean, that's incredible. And if they actually pull it off, um, I'll probably be singing their praises for the next year because of it.
Absolutely. Well, and keep in mind, Tech, that that's the Quest 2 that's going to next year, right? The the
Quest
Quest
1.
1, I
Quest
mean.
1.
Yeah, the Quest
Yeah.
1, and that's a good thing. They're separating it. If that's not another reason to upgrade, if you want to play this game now or sooner than now, get the Quest 2. It's going to be a better version anyway.
PD says just don't let the Tarzan Quest devs do the ports. So you have something against VR Monkey Studio, PD? I noticed something interesting about this Tarzan 2 port. Nobody wants to take like credit for it. These crappy port versions. They actually made a new LLC. Like it's Wolf and Wood that publishes this, right? The publishers, or not Wolf and Wood, but crap. Now I can't remember who's the name of the publisher. The same person who published The Exorcist on Quest, the same studio. But they made a whole new LLC. If you go into like it was like the Quest store, the PlayStation store, to see who published it, they didn't put their name on it at all, which I found telling.
Yeah, well, I just think it's I don't wish bad on anybody, but I really love Stone Punk Studios, and to see them take his game, or the game that he helped develop, and have it. I just wish he would have somehow been involved in the port. That's all. I think it would have translated over into the game that he made, and we would have had a much different experience. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said there. Next question, was the game always planned to be released on Quest? Originally, no. But when the Quest was announced, we realized the potential of untethered VR and made the decision to familiarize ourselves with developing for the platform by jumping into familiar territory with Arizona Sunshine. This has helped us understand the device and its unique strengths and weaknesses before jumping in with an ambitious title such as After the Fall. We have had to be critical about our development roadmap in some areas. Some features and content had to be moved around on our timeline, while others have made the way for new ideas. Launch has always been just the start for After the Fall. However, this has meant that we've made our post-launch support plan a little meatier. So basically, what they're saying here is no, this originally wasn't a Quest game, and we all knew that. I mean, this is the case for most of these games that are putting out Quest versions, as a surprise. Sniper Elite, all these titles did this. But what they're saying here is their approach is so detailed that it never has just been about getting a game to launch, but they're already working on their post-launch support now, pre-launch. So when you add another platform in like Quest, it also affects the overall timeline for certain features and that post-launch plan as well. So there's a lot that comes with adding a new platform into your support.
yeah, absolutely. Onikazi wants to know if they or was it Onika? Yeah, if he was questioning whether they might get sued over this. You think there's are you thinking it's too much like Left 4 Dead, Onikazi, or?
Yeah, I don't. I would highly doubt that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Left 4 Dead don't own the zombie shooters on genre, right? And
Well,
they're all pretty much the same. So
it's 4-player co-op though.
Oh yeah, okay. Question: how much later in the year do you expect the game to arrive? So pay attention there. Who was it, Roots? The Techno Glitch?
Techno Glitch. He said, after I said what I said, he said today, exclamation marks times 4, I think.
All right, so they asked directly, how much later in the year do you expect the game to arrive? And their answer was, let's just say that we're confident that the rolling after the fall release date joke that our community has happily been torturing our community manager with, we're pretty confident that joke won't age very well. So basically, they're saying that it's not going to be winter. This game will arrive by the end of fall. So
Oh wow! So we're only a couple months away.
yeah, and we're not going to have to wait very long for it.
What if it
Unless they
releases on
decide that,
Halloween? Halloween release.
I think October would be perfect for this.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We first saw the game in summer 2019. Exactly what has changed with the project since then? The 2019 demo is largely still a good representation of our vision for after the fall, essentially being a sideways step from our work on Arizona Sunshine, in which we have broken basically all of its rules for surviving an undead apocalypse. You're no longer saving bullets in a struggle to survive. This is a full-blown power fantasy in which you play the role of a runner. Runners are special survivor forces who venture out into post-apocalyptic LA, take out the snowbreed, and bring back the resources required to secure mankind's continued survival, all the while upping their skill, loadout, and status within the community. Some things did change, though. Aside from the changes to the development roadmap that we already covered, once we had the core framework mentioned above in place, we cranked up the co-op support to 4 players in mission as the standard for internal and external playtests. These taught us that players really enjoyed the faster paced co-op action as they fully embraced the fantasy of being a badass running headfirst into all sorts of danger with their squad. A lot of us played games like Left 4 Dead to death back in the day, so this didn't bother us in the slightest. So basically, what they're saying here is originally they probably had a vision that was a little more similar in play style to Arizona Sunshine, but as they upped their play test to 4-player co-op, that they found that the players really enjoyed a more fast-paced arcade style game, and that's the direction that they decided to go with it.
Yeah, well, good. That's the way I like it as well. You know what I mean? Like we said that from day one when we were talking about zombie games that you want the moment of Walking Dead where the herd gets riled up and now it starts to become a little bit, one walker, 2 walkers, 3 walkers, that's bad enough, but you get 50, 60 feeding off of each other energy wise or whatever's going on. They get fast, they get aggressive, things get out of control, right? So I think it's cool.
And how cool is it that this thing is set in post-apocalyptic Los Angeles? I mean, surely they took some inspiration from the modern day exodus out of Southern California, and basically they're bringing this whole alternate timeline, this dystopian future, which all started when Joe Rogan moved to Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And now it's all devolved down to the point where it's actually snowing there.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, that's what makes a good game is they bring enough reality into it, into this dystopian nightmare fantasy that it kind of, you know what I mean? You can almost picture yourself there. So that's cool.
Bill Yarn says it's amazing. Just picture Left 4 Dead if it was made this year. Yeah, I know, right? It makes you feel kind of weird when Valve says that that's not something that they're working on right now. I tend to not believe them.
Yeah, I think they're all about hype as far as like deny, and then just dropping it in your face and people freak out, right? That's
Right.
that's how Valve does it. So
Duggars K will all forgive delaying release as long as the release version delivers as promised and is actually finished. I'm pretty confident at this point that they're not going to drop this game till it's ready.
well, just everything so far that you've said in the quotes makes me feel very good about the game. It sounds like I mean, they're not just willy-nilly making this VR game. There's a lot of thought behind it to the point where they're already working on post-launch stuff so that their launch will be as smooth as it can be. They're just thinking ahead. It's what every developer should be doing. So I think it's really cool.
Phil Yard says, I've been playing the Back for Blood beta now. That's an amazing straight up Left 4 Dead clone. Yeah, and it's free right now to download on the Epic Game Store. So anybody interested in getting in there and checking that out, it does look pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, I was having a couple people telling me on Twitch the other night that I should download it and play it, so I might just do that.
I want to see if we can get it running in
Vorpex?
get it running in well, maybe not Vorpex, but Helix Vision.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, just getting a little 3D theater mode going on there and not get banned for Vorpex.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's all I clipped out of the larger interview. Again, if you find this interesting and want to know a little bit more of the details, be sure to go to Upload VR and check out the full interview that's up toward the top of the page right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that brings us to Shadowgate VR, the Mines of Mythrok. The Shadowgate saga is set to return in the near future in the form of virtual reality. Recently, developer, I don't know how to pronounce this, Zojoy, announced Shadowgate VR, the Mines of Mythrok, which will be based on the first book of the series for the Oculus Quest. The game is based on the highly successful Shadowgate franchise, first created in 1987 for the Apple Macintosh. After finding massive success on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the game was subsequently ported or reimagined to over 15 unique platforms. Unlike its predecessors, though, Shadowgate VR is a brand new VR adventure created exclusively for the Oculus Quest. Roots, are you familiar with Shadowgate?
It sounds familiar. I probably played it on the Nintendo back in the day or some form of this. But it sounds really familiar. So
Yeah, it was kind of a dark RPG with a unique perspective for the time. Like the player perspective, it wasn't something that was common in games at the time that this came out. But it's always had this kind of dark wizardry subject matter going on with it, and it made it an instant hit when it finally came to Nintendo back in the day, and as I just mentioned, it has had a very long lifespan since then, and it's still very much living off the popularity that it garnered when we were just children.
yeah, well, it looks amazing in VR. You know.
Paradise Decay says Back for Blood beta worked in Vorpex, but not the newer version because of the anti-cheat that they use. See, this is what we were talking about. Maybe Helix Vision would run it, and you don't have to worry about shit like this. These development studios, they need to get their ass with the program with regards to Vorpex and VR modding. Like they need to understand that it's not cheating.
Yeah, it's if anything, it sometimes can make it harder for you. Definitely not cheating. So
you know who else can make it harder for you?
My mom!
Oh God.
Anyway, I've got a quick synopsis here for Shadowgate VR. Quote, the first book in the Shadowgate saga, Shadowgate VR, The Mines of Mythrok, brings the hit adventure series to virtual reality. Step into the fantasy world of Kai Torlin like never before and immerse yourself in this exciting action adventure game made exclusively for the Oculus Quest. With Odin the Raven as your guide, explore ancient dungeons, solve devious puzzles, wield elemental magic, battle deadly monsters, and ride thrilling mine carts. This sounds like an amazing VR game, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, just the minecarts alone. I love minecart levels, and I can't wait to hear Radio Runt playing through that big spider. I probably won't.
This looks like anybody who loved the Wizard's Dark Times is really going to dig on this because it looks like it has a lot of the same stuff going on with a darker, more action-oriented twist to the subject matter. It looks really cool from this early footage that they're giving us.
Yeah, and since it's already established such a good IP, I think it's going to be good. They just need to bring it into VR, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's just the latest in a long line of revivals of these older franchises in VR. Like that's the coolest thing about some of these indie studios in VR. They pick up these long dormant IPs uh, who at the time don't have a whole lot going on. Like Tarzan's a good example of that. Like who doesn't know Tarzan? That's a huge IP, and our friends at Stone Punk just picked it up and made a game for it, right? Like amazing that there's so much potential now as we're still in kind of the frontier Wild West days of VR, where we're seeing a lot of different things take place.
I think a lot of developers are taking advantage of the nostalgia. They know like all these IPs, something like this, where it's like you have such a fond memory, and you're like, oh my god, I remember Shadowgate, and then now you get to be in it. I think it's super cool. Caleb Law throwing a 20 yen at us, bro. Really appreciate that.
Oh wow, Caleb joining us. Hey, buddy, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you for the 20 American dollars, Roots. That's the good stuff there.
Oh, that's the good stuff. Okay, $20. Eddie C coming in as well, says hello, folks. Eddie, how's it going?
What's up, Eddie? Traveling Man says, Caleb, you the man. Yeah, thanks, Caleb.
Yeah,
We
really
all
appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do It Yourself VR channel says, I feel really broken after playing Alex. All of these games almost look for me like a pixelated mess. Games from 1996. Oh my God, I will have to wait another 5 years to have real AAA. Well, I mean, keep in mind that this is being advertised as an Oculus Quest game. I wouldn't get too disheartened by it right now. This is early footage of an Oculus Quest game. So
And also not only that, but this is exactly why Wes and I have been saying we are excited about the cable that the PSVR or 5VR is going to be connected to. I don't think you're gonna have to wait 5 years. I think you're gonna have to wait a year. As soon as the PlayStation 5 VR drops, I predict you're gonna start seeing amazing things happen on that console,
Yeah.
and it's gonna blow people away. And all the other platforms are gonna be scrambling to catch up for a time. So.
Yeah, I think that it's safe to say that 2 years from now, we're going to see new heights with regards to the quality level of AAA VR. I think AAA VR hasn't really been established yet, and in 2 years, AAA VR is going to be a real thing.
Yep, absolutely.
That's a good question. PD says, "Have you played Lone Echo, Asgard's Wrath, Saints and Sinners? All feel and look AAA." Very good points, PD.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it just depends. Okay, it could be what I'm always talking about, the depth of the game, the gameplay loop, which is finally starting to make it into VR in a heavy way in a lot of these games. Because there's a lot more to AAA than just the graphics and climbing across ladders and all the stuff that looking at your hands. So
That's true. But moving on, we got some news on Space Pirate Arena this week. Back in 2019, alongside the launch of the first Oculus Quest, Space Pirate Trainer developer iLlusions announced their vision for the next installment of the franchise, a far more open laser tag style experience called Space Pirate Arena. This past week, the studio confirmed that Space Pirate Arena will be hitting Oculus Quest soon. Rather than your basic living room scale VR experience where you might have 2 or 3 meters each way to play with, Space Pirate Arena commands a far larger area. To make sure Arena is played the right way, the game will not even boot unless you have managed to find a 10 meters by 10 meter space. So you'll need a decent garden area, a sports court, or a field before you can even begin to play. With all that space to play, you and a few friends with Oculus Quest will be able to run around in virtual arenas, hiding behind available cover. While Space Pirate Arena is primarily designed as a local multiplayer shooter, the studio has confirmed it'll feature a multiplayer element. It's there to give you a taste of the gameplay if you don't have friends around with an Oculus Quest. There's still plenty to be revealed, including player count, weapons, arena variety, and quite what the technical requirements will be for connecting multiple headsets when you're standing in the middle of a basketball court or in the middle of a field. So, Roots, Space Pirate Arena has always been very interesting to me. The mere revelation of this title right before the Oculus Quest 1 was released, uh, just the fact they were talking about making games like this made me excited for standalone VR because we've never seen anything like this. This is the type of thing that you go to location based to have to do, right? Um, I found it to be pretty ambitious at the time, skeptical whether or not we'd see it anytime soon, and then we didn't see it anytime soon. They really haven't said very much about this since then. We've basically had one or two other quick updates that basically amounted to them just saying, we're still working on it. We're still working on it. And now here we are, apparently very close to launch. How do you think this is going to be received, Roots? Because as awesome of a concept as this is, most people aren't going to be able to play this indoors. You're going to have to go outside to play this game.
Yeah, I'm not taking my Quest outside in the twilight of the day when the sun's still out. And I don't know. I mean, it's cool. This is so cool, right? I would love to be able to run around and do this, even if you're not running around with people locally. And you have the space, you're still running around that space, right? Hiding behind cover, actually feeling like you're really doing it. My question is, how likely or how many accidents do you think people are going to have tripping over stuff, tripping over their own feet? You know what I mean, or whatever. And then once you're falling and you got this headset on, that could be sketchy, right? I think it's cool at the same time. I think the way people get so into games, this is going to be a recipe for disaster for some people. But I think you're going to run into, at least in the beginning, and maybe even like empty things, like, because I don't have 10 meters by 10 meters, bro. Like, I don't even know, like, even thinking, okay, outside the box, I want to go outside. I don't even have a place in my mind that I can think of that I can do it. And I'm not driving to some park, or I don't know. It sounds good, and I almost think like it would be awesome if you could have a place that, because people are sketched about putting someone else's headset on with COVID and whatever, you go to this location where you have the building already paid, you know what I mean? You pay to use the building, or everybody goes there with their own headset and plays. That'd be pretty cool. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that this has the potential to be amazing. I think that this is one of those rare cases. If it all works, this is going to be one of those rare cases of an experience that we've never had before. Nothing ever remotely like this. And to that effect, we had, who was it? Chris Richardson, was it? In the chat said, "Oh yeah, this is what I tuned in for. My best VR experience was playing Dead and Buried at Oculus Connect 5. Can't really understand why it took this long to become a reality." So what he's referring to is the Dead and Buried arena scale that they did at Oculus Connect. Apparently, his best VR experience he's ever had was arena scale VR, and he's so pumped for Space Pirate Arena. Now, for me, I'm very interested in this. I own 2 Quest headsets already. I live on a 2-acre lot. I have plenty of room outside. My whole question is it going to work? Are there going to be connection issues? You know, already you're going to have very specific conditions to even be able to go out inside and play, right? Has to be a low light, overcast situation, no rain. You got to have a nice flat area without things that you're going to trip over. You're going to be very careful setting up your play space. And even if all that lines up, you got to wonder, are you going to be able to stay connected and have a match? But with all that said, if they manage to pull this off, I think that this could be huge for the Oculus Quest platform. I feel like this is something that will sell headsets if it works.
If it works, absolutely. If people have space. Richardson also had a good point. He said, you can rent out tennis courts, basketball courts, that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm just inclined to not do it outside. I don't want to wait for twilight. I don't want to do it in a specific time frame. I'm just reading in the Facebook group this last couple days ago, somebody saying, and they legitimately act shocked. They said, I took my Quest to the beach and now it won't start up again. Well, you're stupid. I'm sorry, you're stupid. There's just certain places you probably shouldn't take it. Anywhere with a bunch of sand, it's probably questionable. You know what I mean? And then the sun, and I don't know, man. Just 2021, we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously, I don't think you have those sorts of things to worry about, Roots, because you and I would be careful outside.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guarantee I could do it at twilight and not damage my thing. I'm so sketched out, man. I just don't want anything to ever happen to it. But I agree. I think this could be amazing. Hopefully they're able to fill the lobbies, with enough people that have that much space. But I'm definitely interested in being able to move around and play a shooter like this.
We need to be very clear about this. You keep talking about these lobbies. That online multiplayer component is kind of a secondary thing here. That is something that they put in there so that people who don't have friends that have Quest in their general vicinity, that's a way for them to get a feel for the game. This is a local multiplayer game. This is meant for people, for a group of people all with headsets to play in the same area. It's not intended as a primarily an online multiplayer thing. So I don't think that the lobbies are really all that important here. That's kind of again, it's a secondary thing that they put in there so that people can get a feel for the game when they don't have any friends around.
Well, I would suggest that timing is everything then, because we're going into another lockdown. Other countries are already in a lockdown. Gathering people to play a game together is about to become a lot more difficult, I think, anyway. And even if it wasn't, I don't know that many. You've got a couple quests. How many people actually know a bunch of people? I mean, it's not that they exist, and you'll get these groups of people, but not in enough that will support a game, I don't believe. I think it has to do both. And I think that's more the reason why the other one's put in there.
Well, we shall see how important that feature turns out to actually be. Only time will tell. Still a lot of question marks with that. They really haven't given us much new information here. Only that it's almost time. And I feel like that's enough in its own right to get excited about.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking this one out. Unless there's a bunch of reports of it, again, not working, connection issues. Somebody, who was it? Somebody just asked, DIY VR channel asked, do you need a laptop and router to have this working? We don't know. We don't know how they've done the networking. I mean, I would assume that it's entirely possible for the headsets just to tether to one another without the need for a router. But then again, you might have to be within range of your router, which makes a whole other challenge completely. I got to imagine that that if it's at all possible that they're going to try to work the middleman out so that all you need is your headsets.
Yeah, that's the ideal thing, because like you even said, I mean, most people, if they are going to do it or be able to do it, they might be going down to the dog park, like Chris Richardson says. He does sometimes, like you're with your friends, you got 5-6 friends and you just go out to somewhere in the twilight, draw your thing and do it. But now you're like, oh shit, I don't have a router near there. So I would agree. It would make more sense that somehow they're able to use just the heads to tether it, which is hope. We're hoping. So
Could you imagine going to a park and seeing some people carrying like a Nighthawk router
oh dude,
with them so that they can plug it into some outdoor power receptacle and connect to it?
how cool. I'll tell you what, man, there's hardcore people like that will do that, and they would that'd be cool.
EV Man versus Gas agrees with Roots, says this will not survive if it's a primarily local multiplayer. And Chris Richardson says day one buy.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely, this is one I want to play. I just have to figure out the logistics of what, maybe I just clear this whole room out and I it just becomes my VR room. Our radio runt will be fine. I think he's got a big enough room now, or will soon.
Yeah, my living room's pretty big, but I don't know if I could pull 30 by 30 off. Like that's a big space.
That's true. Well, you, like you said, you got big space outside, so you're all set.
PD says you could hook it up to a Steam Deck to get a boost, I bet. Sure.
There you go. Steam Deck, day one buy now.
Absolutely. VR support confirmed. All right, one more topic before we get into the week's reminders. Jetpack Vacation. Developer Tourism Infinity has recently revealed a pick up and play VR jetpacking game for all ages called Jetpack Vacation. With a pair of handheld jetpacks, players will be able to fly, dive, and shoot their way through a collection of minigames, including target practice, jetpack soccer, and jetpack racing. Supporting both single player and multiplayer, target practice, players have to race around a tropical island, shooting as many targets as possible and scoring the most points. Jetpack soccer is an even more fast and frantic version of the sport. And jetpack racing challenges players to fly through a shifting obstacle course. Or you can simply take it easy and explore the sunny paradise with those very useful jetpack hands with plenty of iconic landmarks to discover and hidden pathways. At the moment, Jetpack Vacation is an open beta. All you need to do to join is get a free Steam key is to head over to the Jetpack Vacation Discord server. Jetpack Vacation will support Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, Valve Index, and Windows Mixed Reality headsets when it arrives on the 20th of October, retailing for $10 US. So a couple of things here, Roots. First of all, a bit surprised that this is a PCVR title, judging by the footage, huh?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you didn't mention Quest in there, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And just the PC ones, right? I mean, not that the graphics look bad, but I mean, they do look basic. I think that it looks cool. I'm more kind of intrigued with the Rocket League type of thing, from a jetpack perspective. I bet that could be pretty fun.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I immediately said nope as to talking about it today. And then the more I looked into it as to what they have here, it does look like a fairly polished experience. Looks like something that all ages and experience levels are going to be able to pick up and play pretty quickly. And when I saw that it was only $10, that was the nail in the coffin for me. That's what decided it. Like we're talking about this because not only is this a fairly polished looking game that's going to go on sale for $10 when it launches in October, there's a free beta right now. Anybody can play this that wants to play it without spending a dime.
Wow.
So I think that this looks fun and it looks like it might be worth a look.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love Rocket League, and I think it'd be cool to be zipping around in a jetpack trying to play soccer with a bunch of friends. I think that'd be really cool.
And as basic as the art style is, these areas do look big and very explorable. They said there's lots of hidden stuff for you to look at in here, and you don't even have to play any of these gameplay modes if you want. You can just kind of just chill out and explore the map, and I think that's cool in its own right.
Yeah, absolutely. Paradise Decay says he hopes this is better than the last VR game called Smashing Pumpkins. And DIY VR channel says, and now Flat Gamer seeing the jetpack game are laughing on the floor and take another 20 steps back about buying VR in any near future. Are you saying that this game is hurting VR's adoptability for new new players? I think people that are new getting into this might actually enjoy it. This is going to be all about the gameplay and whether it's good or not. And it's definitely not about how the graphics look for sure, because they do look like, I almost thought it was like a vacation simulator type of thing from the picture, and then when I watched it I was like, no, this is not vacation simulator.
Yeah, my only concern with it, I think this looks fun. I think it looks like that people are going to get their $10 out of it pretty easy. I mean, it's a single player or multiplayer. I mean, how many like fun multiplayer games are out there for $10? There's not a whole lot of them.
No.
Now, with that said, my only real concern here is the choice of platform. Again, I'm not so sure how PCVR gamers are going to take to this thing. This seems like more of a everyman type game. This seems more of a standalone VR game. I think that this game would be very well received on Oculus Quest. I'm not sure how many people on PC are going to put down Jet Island to play this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I guess only time will tell. Do you think that they somehow bring it to the Quest in the future? Or, obviously, they didn't say anything about that in their information, but
I got to imagine that if it's at all possible for them from a budgetary standpoint, that they're going to do it, because that's really that's what they should have done in the first place. Now that's easy for me to say. We don't know when they started development on this. This could have been in development for years at this point. Um, but I certainly feel like even to get something like this on App Lab, it would be more well received than it's going to be on Steam VR.
yeah, absolutely. Techno Glitch has a good point. He says, "Can I just play Rec Room?" And I think you can. And Rec Room has so many more options. Now, I don't think Rec Room has Jetpack Soccer, but Rec Room, that's a very good valid point. It's like, okay, $10 is a really cheap price, but Rec Room is free. So hopefully this game will be really good and it'll be worth the $10.
Yeah, yeah, and if not, we'll catch it on Infinity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely a perfect Infinity game.
Yep. Anyway, Jetpack Vacation, October the 20th. Keep your eyes out for it. $10, but free right now. So if you're interested, if you're really interested, go visit these guys on Discord and ask for your beta key.
Yep, absolutely. That was answering Chris Richardson's question. He wanted to know where the beta was available, so it is on their Discord.
Yep, absolutely. And for the record, this article came from VR Focus. So they probably have that Discord linked up right there in the article if you want to go check it out.
Yep.
All right, that wraps up this week's gaming segment, brings us into the week's reminders, and we got stuff out this week, Roots. Did you hear Fracked is coming from In Dreams on August 20th or the 17th, depending on how much money you want to spend. The original $30, the deluxe edition 35, deluxe edition bringing all sorts of digital goodies with it, as well as the ability to play the game 3 days early on the 17th. With that said, maybe you don't want to spend much more than $30 on it. Well, the good news is if you're a PS Plus subscriber, you don't have to, because there is a launch pre-order discount on it right now. You can get the deluxe edition for $31, and again, you'll be playing this thing on the 17th, the day after tomorrow. So Tuesday you could be playing this. Kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. And again, if you're not sure about the gameplay, there's a free demo that you can play right now. This is one of my most highly anticipated releases of the year, and I can't wait to get in there, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it here in just a couple of days' time.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I question your soul if you're not, if you think this isn't going to be a good game. I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, you've played through the first level. So.
And get this, Roots, they did an AMA on Reddit and then Discord a couple of days ago, and they were giving out door prizes for people who left questions, and I left questions, and I've got a T-shirt on the way to me awesome Frack t-shirt. And you know how I'm
Cool.
constantly in search of VR t-shirts. Our friends at In Dreams sending one my way. So big thank you to our friends Jimmy and our friends at In Dreams for that as well.
That's awesome. I didn't even know about that. I'll retroactively put it in there in my mind right now, and hopefully a shirt will come for me. Although I
You
don't.
know what I
I don't.
asked them, Roots?
What's that?
They had their Discord AMA on the anniversary of PT, and I asked him if he was really secretly Hideo Kojima.
Do you say no?
Well, he tried to, but then I hit him with about 50 facts that prove that he is, in fact, Hideo Kojima. So you heard it here first.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I convinced him. He's not even denying it anymore.
Well, he better not.
Anyway, so looking forward to talking to you guys about this very soon indeed. Again, be sure you hit the button and the bell if you haven't already to keep up with our content this week. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And Phil Yarn is saying this should be on PC. Yeah, I agree, but
well, we can't all have, everything can't come to PC, man. We have exclusives for a reason, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And they asked them that, by the way. Like, that was one of the top questions of both of these AMA sessions. Is this game coming to other platforms? And their answer is no. We don't have any plans on bringing this to other platforms. And get this, Roots. This is, even though this is a PSVR 1 title, this game is specifically enhanced for PlayStation 5. So this game is going to have it's the first one that we've ever had developed for PlayStation 5. So I mean that says a lot just in its own right.
It really does. How cool.
Yeah, I agree. Very cool. How cool? Well, again, hit the bell and the button if you want to find out. Anyway, that's not all that's out this week. We're finally getting Tetris Effect connected. This is coming to us from Enhance on the 18th of August, debuting on Steam that day. So this will be the first time that Steam has Tetris Effect in any capacity.
Wow.
There's also obviously the multiplayer update, which will come free to all the existing versions of Tetris Effect. So they're all going to be upgraded to the connected version. Oculus Quest 2 update is also going to feature visual enhancements. So on the same day, Roots, this is going to become a Quest 2 enhanced title. So as good as it looks on the Quest 2 now, it's going to look better in a week.
Wow, how exciting. Well, if I play it, do I have to be singing and doing what all these other people are doing in this commercial? They seem like they're really getting down to it.
Well, I mean, it's a powerful game.
It is. I'll tell you what, I joke around about it, but this is I don't know. It's an amazing game, and we've said it so much. You need to pick it up, and now you can play with other people. So,
Bill Yarn says, I can't even buy a PS5. So does that mean you can't find one, or does that mean you don't have the money for one? Because people are getting PS5s every week on our Discord server now. Like we had 2 or 3 this week, thanks to our friend D-Rail, that finally got their consoles ordered. So Phil, if you want a PS5, make sure that you've got your notifications turned on for the Virtual Strangers Discord, and we'll start tagging you up. And I guarantee you'll get one within weeks.
Or if you have the extra money, because Wes threw the gauntlet to me, or the challenge, when I said the same thing, that I can't get one, I can't find one. He said, well, Facebook Marketplace. And I had one within a day and a half after that. So, it's just that. So how much is it worth to you, bro?
Phil Yarn says, I can't find one. Now, let me tell you, Phil, there was a day last week in our Discord where D-Rail posted a bundle from GameStop. And yeah, it was like $700 or something like that, but it had a bunch of stuff with it too. I mean, it wasn't just...
It had 4 games.
Yeah, it had a bunch of stuff with it. I didn't see the link until 30 minutes after he posted it, and it was still in stock. Like I could have ordered it right then. So they're coming into stock. They just secured a bunch more microprocessors, so that they're going to have plenty of stock throughout the rest of the year. They're in full on production mode, getting these consoles in people's hands, and they're taking actions. The various websites are actually taking actions to mitigate scalping. Best Buy, for example, if you order one from Best Buy, you can't get it shipped to your house. You got to go to the store and pick it up. But they're coming in the stock. People are getting them in their hands, and if you want one, again, make sure that you have notifications turned on for our Discord, and we'll start tagging you up, and you will get one quite soon.
Yeah, you need to get one of these, bro. We need you in the club, Phil.
Technoglitch says, I got one. Thanks, D-Rail. See, a success story right there. Who was the other one that got one this week, Roots? It was
Tech almost bought two. He tried to buy a second one and he barely missed the second one. So
yeah, right. Yeah, because he didn't want to wait, and it was like a September ship date or something, right?
yeah, I can't remember who the other person was that got the second one.
It was Quadzilla, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Quadzilla because he's been waiting. He's gonna be Quadzilla is the old Phil Yarn. Phil Yarn is going to be the new Quadzilla now. Your name is going to be tagged by Derail, and you're going to be getting notifications looking for that PS5. And I'm going to predict that within the next 2 weeks, you're going to have one, and it's going to be on its way. So,
Traveling Man 3775 said, I heard there's a secret countdown on Hideo Kojima's Twitter post, supposedly pointing to the 19th or something like that. Well, that would make sense because obviously Mr. Kojima is very excited for the Stones of Harlath Arenas update, which is coming on the 19th. Stones of Harlath is coming to the Oculus Link store. Again, this is the RPG style dungeon crawler from our friends at Garage Collective. Again, they're bringing this to the Oculus Link store on the 19th, bringing it to Steam VR on the 20th, and on the 19th as well, the Oculus Quest version, which is already out there, will receive the Arenas update. Now, we talked at length about this update on last week's program. So if you're wondering what this all is going to entail, it's a free update to a $10 game that looks pretty friggin' awesome. But you can check out our last weekly episode if you need the details.
yeah, this is definitely a no-brainer at $10. Was already before. Now, just pick it up. Just buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Traveling Man, appreciating the segue. Thanks for noticing, friend.
Yeah,
I've got the segue game is on point today, Roots.
yeah. No, I love it. I love when you just got to look for those opportunities, and you know.
So Phil says he's going to turn his notifications on. So you guys who are active members of the Discord, don't fail to tag Phil up whenever the Derail posts the info in our Discord.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, that's what's out this week, and that brings us to our next reminders. This is the part of the show where we ask you all to join us in real time as we do our part to support these awesome developers by going right now and wish listing a game. And I think that we pretty much have a no-brainer this week with Shadowgate. Like, I'm all about the Shadowgate VR.
Yeah, this is gonna be the one I wish list right off the bat because it looks cool.
Which, being a Quest exclusive, I don't know if it'll have a page up yet.
Yeah, well, at least it's got a video. I always question when people drop their games and there's no video, no pictures. Like, do you want us to talk about it or not? Give me something.
Right. Give us some content. Or when they give you a trailer and then turn around, you get a copyright claim for playing it.
I don't understand that, man. And I know it's not the developer. I mean, obviously they want you to, but
not.
It just sucks because, for Wes and I, it's like, oh my God, we can never use that trailer. No, we just had that happen. Now we're using gameplay for something. So it just had, it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, so no Shadowgate on the Quest store. I'm going to try Space Pirate Arena while I don't expect that to be on there either.
Well, while you're looking at that, Space Dennison has a question. I guess he would have to, it'd be more for you because I don't have one of the two. He said PS5 or HP G2 Reverb.
Well, that's going to be a very individual question.
Well,
Do
if
you
it was you
have?
and you already have a headset,
Well, it's what kind of PC setup does he have already? Does he already have a PlayStation and a PlayStation VR? I mean, um, these are the questions. I mean, if you only have PC VR and you're talking about adding a whole new library of VR games by picking up a PlayStation, that's a no-brainer. But if you already have a PS4 Pro and a PSVR headset, well, that changes the equation quite a bit.
kind of, because Technoglitch recently picked up that PS5 and he's already in the process of selling his PS4 Pro. That's the way to do it. You know, if you're going to upgrade and you want to just, I mean, you're kind of upgrading for like $100 or whatever it is, or whatever the difference is. Now you have the best tech. But there's so many ways to go about it. But I agree. If you already have a PCVR headset and it's a good one, you feel like you enjoy it, I would say go with the PlayStation 5. If you don't, are, you know, but that's me. I'm enjoying it even just for flat gaming. So
Well, that's a question too. Do you flat game at all? I mean, if you're a flat gamer, then that just kind of seals the deal because Sony exclusives are where it's at, friend. I mean, we got true next gen stuff going on here with the PlayStation 5.
he's still got his Pro and his PSVR. So I don't know, man. That's a good question. You know, you're not limited. You have your PlayStation VR. You're not worried about getting your PlayStation 5 when PSVR 2 or 5 comes out. Although we don't know, will that probably won't play with the Pro, or did they say? I don't know. There's so many questions.
No, no, he will need the PS5 regardless to play with the next PlayStation VR. Um, it's a real touchy thing, man. But, it depends um,
Hmm.
on a lot of different things. Now, there aren't a whole lot of benefits to having a PS5 today as a VR gamer, but there are some. There's a handful of games that look better on the PS5. You know, games like No Man's Sky, games like Blood and Truth and Firewall, and now we have Fracked coming out, which is a game with real PS5 enhancements, and then you
Hmm.
have Dreams, and the Star Wars game, which name escapes me at the moment. So there is a benefit to it. Now, my whole thing with it, the real benefit is having your console paid for now so that you don't have to buy it all at once later. That's kind of the thing with me. Now, which one will you probably get the most benefit out of right now? Probably a G2, honestly. That's a tangible upgrade no matter what you're gaming on at the moment. It's going to be a noticeable difference. Um, but I don't know. Again, it's a very individual thing. I can't really tell you what direction to go on this thing.
Yeah, well, I would go the PS5, but that's just because I'm blown away by the technology of it, enjoying it for everything, and then everything you just said, being able to play Fracked with the PS5, all those things, and then sell your PS4 Pro. Although PD says he can't sell his PS4 Pro because is not able to watch Blu-ray in VR with the PS5 yet. I don't know if that's not available or what the deal is.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
Or it's
Jetpack
3D Blu-rays.
Vacation. I found one we can wish list, the Jetpack Vacation, and I also found that there is a playable demo available to download on Steam right now.
Oh, how cool. All right. Well, check that out. Download it. You got a free download of Jetpack Vacation. Let us know what you think. I guess that's the beta, right? You said the beta was available.
I don't know if that'll be the full beta version or not, but if you don't want to go through all that business with requesting a key, you can get a taste of it before you decide.
Traveling Man has a really good point on the PlayStation 5 thing. He said bots don't buy the bundles. So that's why you have they last a lot longer. You're guaranteed that it's not going to be a bot snatching them up. I did not know that.
Right. Right. Well, that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I watched this one guy and he was making a point. One of the people that help you find it on Twitter. And he said the average person will scoff at a bundle, but then in the end, they'll do exactly what I did and they'll pay more through Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And then they pay the same price they would have paid for the bundle, but they don't get all the bundle stuff. So you might as
Right,
well
and these
just do the
bundles
bundle.
are coming with cool stuff too. They're coming with extra controllers. They're coming with a year of PS Plus. They're coming with Returnal stuff you're going to buy anyway at some point or another. So it's really not all. You generally end up paying about $20 or $30 in bundle tax, but beyond that, I mean, it's all pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to feel a lot better about it. So.
Anyway, that's going to wrap up the wish list and bring us into our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can do your part to help support our channel. Of course, if you haven't already, click the button and the bell. That will keep you up to date with all of our ever increasing content library. We're doing what 4 and 5 days of content a week now between the game streams and all the off day content we're putting out. There's generally only a couple days a week now where there isn't something going up on the channel, and it's quality stuff this week. I mean, we've got the Wednesday show, we've got Fracked, we've got VR giveaway, so much cool stuff going on. You're not going to want to miss it. Hit the bell and the button if you haven't already.
Yeah, plus we're gonna have the third stranger on Wednesday, bro. You don't want to miss the interview. Having Mash Daddy join us. It's gonna be amazing.
Absolutely. And then there are those of you who have already clicked all the things and you might want to do a little something more. Well, you can do a little something more by supporting us on Patreon. All we ask is $3 per month, and that will give you access to our weekly show notes. It will give you access to exclusive content and insider updates, all for the low price of $3 per month. And you will also get our undying gratitude for your support. So again, link in the description to our Patreon. Thank you to all of you out there who have supported Patreon, whether it be currently or in the past. We appreciate all of you. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Absolutely, and soon and very soon, the changes finally. You'll be seeing all the where your money's been going this whole time when we kick it up a notch and go to the next level.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, a date has been set. Not long the way at all now.
Yep.
All right. And then our final reminder is where you can come and really become part of the community. We are inviting you into our home, friends, and our home is the Virtual Strangers Discord. Invitation in the description down below. It's where we're always there. Like, uh, some people lead a very lonely existence, myself included. A lot of time spent at work, but I never quite feel like I'm separated from my family as long as I have my phone in my pocket, because at any point in time that I need to talk to people I care about, I can do so by clicking on the Discord, and there's always people right there, ready to talk VR, ready to talk life. It's an amazing thing. Uh, I don't want to be stingy with my amazing thing, so we're trying to share it with all of you by leaving you an invite down below. Virtual Strangers Discord, home for the hardcore VR gaming enthusiast. Come home.
Yeah, come on home, man. Don't make Wes's he turned the light on for you and everything, and he's gonna get pissed, dude. If you don't come home, you're supposed to have been here 30 minutes ago. Dinner's ready.
Yeah, man, it's getting cold. What are you doing?
It's getting cold. Traveling man he's got the caboose today, $5, throwing it out there. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Traveling Man. Very much appreciated for all that you do. Thank you for the support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, like the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, and with that said, we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you probably a little sooner than you think. Bye now.